Welcome to SunDogs Present Local Vibes. We are SunDogs, your two favorite canines. Bow wow indeed, a.k.a. Good Boys, a.k.a. Fly Boys, pardon me, a.k.a. Brother's Hound, the Brother's Hound.
That's right. Bow wow. Bow wow.
We are kicking your weekend off. Make sure to follow us at SunDogs TC. The Facebook page for the radio show is SunDogs Present Local Vibes. We're joined in the doghouse yet again by Erin Avis. How you doing?
Yeah. Woo. I'm chilling.
Waiting very patiently.
Yes. My hands folded, legs crossed.
More information can be found across all social media at Erin Avis Music. That's ERINAVISMUSIC, correct?
Yes, sir.
Bada bing, bada boom. Before us, you were listening to that sweet 94.1 FM WFNU-LP music rotation. If you have clean, local, again, radio edited, that's what we mean by clean. Radio edited music, you can send that to station manager at wfnu.org. If you have clean hip-hop or R&B songs, what can they do?
Send them to us, SunDogsTC@gmail.com. Exactly what to do with them. We know exactly where to stick them. And that's in our playlist and in the music rotation.
Friday nights are hot with local vibes. SunDogs Present Local Vibes kicking you off from 6 to 7. Beneath the Remains takes the reins Fridays at 7.
Oh, Fridays at 9 p.m. Get the Gravy Hot with Gall Dagburn.
Fridays at 10, Basic Beats with DJ Dom Terrace.
Fridays at 11 is the Club of 120 Plus Replay with Sid DeLuca.
Make sure to catch the Midday Escape with Philip Gracia Friday and Saturdays at noon.
The morning program with Dr. Rick Burnett, that's weekdays, 7 a.m.
Oh, excuse me. The Extra Dimension with E&R Buck Sundays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m.
Saturdays and Wednesdays at 9:45 is the 9:45 show.
T. Frazier's Motivational Talks, that's Thursday at 3 p.m.
Hits and Histories of the 60s, 70s, and 80s with Dr. Rick Burnett is live 8 a.m. on Mondays and every day at midnight. Every night at midnight.
Every night. We know what you're doing at midnight.
Yeah.
And make sure to catch Funk to Your Ears every Tuesday and Saturday at 7 p.m. That's just the tip of the iceberg of the programming here on WFNU.
Exactly. Big shout out to the station managers. Think we're getting a few new shows in here, sliding in the new shows in the slots.
And then the schedule's got a few new shows. I like that.
Yeah, I think something New Year's there might be a couple more new shows.
A little
something on Thursday.
Sneak peek here on WFNU. A few other great shows here focusing on the local music here in the Twin Cities include the Sota Sound radio show. I enunciated because it's spelled S-O-T-A like Minnesota, but no one says Minnesota, they say Minnesota. That's hosted by Nacho Suave and Half Pint of the B&E crew. You can just look that up on Sota, look up Sota Sound Radio on Facebook.
Another one you can look up on Facebook is Chopping It Up with Pops. He's got a bunch of good interviews with local hip-hop people, and I think he's collaborating with, I forgot the name of the other podcast, but I think they might be joining forces.
Say No Mo?
I don't
Different
think so.
one.
Different one.
The Millennial Man, the Heartbreak Kid, Logan Michaels hosts the Minneapolis podcast. You can find that on YouTube.
On Mixcloud, live every Friday, the DJ Buster Baxter Show, and that's DJ Buster Baxter and Dungeon the Baptist is on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he might co-host it every time, but at least most of the time.
Guest co-host?
Yeah, not surprised when he's on there anymore.
B&D Music YouTube is where you can find The Walrus the Human Show. And then the Say No Mo podcast. Do you know where you can find
it might be its own blog page, but it could be on Spotify, it could be somewhere else. I've just recently found out about it, and they're doing it.
That's about 75% of the business. Again, we're sitting down with Erin Avis. He is waiting in the corner. His manager is looking more impatient than he is, which I'm not too worried about. More information can be found at Erin Avis Music, ERINAVISMUSIC.
That's right.
Who were we sitting down last week?
Last week was Resi Noble, talking about his new projects.
And
next week
we got Prime and PM.
Haha, that'll be great.
Replays of SunDogs Present Local Vibes, exclusive content and performances, exclusive content and exclusive performances can be found at anchor.fm/localvibes, YouTube on the SunDogs TCB channel, and on Spotify, because I know you're on Spotify. Just shuffle SunDogs Present Local Vibes podcast. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, there's almost every episode since the beginning.
Since the beginning, which is pretty nice. There's a few hidden episodes, lost episodes. I won't call them lost. Hidden episodes.
Miss.
Where our producers are working on it.
4 ways you can listen live. We're, of course, recording this live. It's going out live on air. You can do 94.1 FM, WFNU, on your radio dial.
On the FM dial.
If you're living in Frogtown, catch the show live, 6 p.m. on Fridays, or go to wfnu.org/live, or download the Live 365 app, search for WFNU, or YouTube. Boom.
SunDogs TC.
Hello,
YouTube.
fellas. Hello, folks.
New and live shows every Friday at 6. Replays on, 94.1 FM, which in turn is the wfnu.org/live, and the Live 365 app. That's when you can catch replays of the show, Mondays from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m.
It's as easy as that.
And Fridays at 6, we're always in the studio, and that's when you want to give us a call.
651-313-5125.
Again, the studio line is 651-313-5125. If you don't swear, we'll put you on the air.
That's right.
Call in now to ask Erin a question. Otherwise, make sure to follow Erin Avis at Erin Avis Music. That's ERINAVISMUSIC. I'm getting quicker at it every time.
Follow us, SunDogs TC.
Again, 651-313-5125. We'll give you relationship advice. We'll give you a good recipe for vegan meatloaf.
Plan
I'll
your
give
vacation.
you relationship advice.
Yeah.
Call me up.
Call it up.
651-313-5125. We'll do it live.
Yeah, it'd be great. One more thing. Our email, sundogstc@gmail.com, if you want to nominate someone to be interviewed or send us your clean radio edited tracks, or you've got an event you'd like us to shout out on the show. Speaking of events, we like to shout out the open mics that have like a residency. Urban Lights open mic, that's every first Thursday, so that just happened yesterday.
Yeah, at Urban Lights in St. Paul.
And that's 5:30 to 8 p.m. or 6 to 8, I think it says on the flyer, but 5:30 is when you're definitely going to want to get there. Sign up, and it's a great vibe.
Yeah, that's Vlad G and a.k.a. Kobe holding it down every first Thursday of the month.
That's right.
The Freight Room open mic, hosted by Good Boy at the Depot Coffee House in Minneapolis, every Tuesday, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. But again, you might want to get there at 5:30.
Exactly, and this Monday specifically at the Red Sea with DJ Cam Jones, there's an open mic, so go there. It's not always an open mic. But
Is it all an open mic, or that's just a portion of the show?
I think the whole show is an open mic, so you want to get there early, get on the sheet. There,
Maybe 7,
normally there's
7:30.
too many people to go.
It's competitive at
It
the Cam
is.
Jones sets.
Yes, they're
I've been
short
there.
and sweet. I think it might be two track open mic night, but that's great. 2 tracks is a fatty set if you're just getting on stage.
Oh, and that's every Monday.
Yeah, every
DJ
Monday's
Cam,
got a show.
but not necessarily
So
an open mic.
all those 3 open mics we just talked about, the hosts of those also throw other shows. So they'll put you on a show, give you a nice little chunk of time.
That's the Bush League to get up to the medium league, or no, that's the minor league. That's the Bush League to get to the minor league to get to the major league.
And networking is equally as good at regardless of the event, whether it's a show or an open mic.
Exactly. I'd say we can get right into it. I believe that's all of the business. Again, give us a call, 651-313-5125.
Erin Avis,
Excellent.
what's happening, my man?
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot is happening.
If listeners aren't familiar, we got to sit down with Erin. We believe in pre-COVID 2020.
I think so, yeah.
And then for sure on February 25th, 2019.
Yeah.
It's the first time. Yeah.
So-
Right, because there's a missing episode.
There's
Or,
a lost episode.
lost.
Hidden.
Exclusive,
Yeah, exactly.
whatever you want to
My,
call it.
my producers, they're saying don't use the word lost. They stop talking about it. So before the show, you were talking about the Erin release party fiasco.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
the last time we had you on the show, you were just about to drop Erin.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
if not that evening.
it was within the vicinity. I don't even remember like how close it was to the actual album drop. You know what it was? You had asked me. I was starting to work on Erin, and you asked me like what I was gonna call my next project, and I was like, I don't know, maybe just like a self-titled thing, maybe just like Erin. You know, that's what it was. But then I don't think that project was even like really worked out yet.
Yeah,
I
might have
don't
not even
think-
been next. I don't know. Because I might not have been here for the second time you were
I
on.
Yeah.
don't think you were.
So, yeah.
Because the first time we had you on, you were talking about Chasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second
Long time ago.
Exactly. But you had mentioned Erin in that interview
Okay.
back in
I
2019,
see.
where it's like it was like the third one down the line. Like,
Right, because I always have all these projects in the pipeline. Because I just can't
working on different phases,
Yeah.
always writing. So
Yeah.
it's like those stack up into projects. In the
Exactly.
meantime.
Exactly. I mean, a project takes a lot longer to actually execute than it takes to
Right.
write. Yeah, or like conceptualize.
Yeah, I think you were talking about you write the lyrics and then you make the beat and then you record the guitar and then you send it somewhere and then redo the guitar and then master it or something like that. There was
That might be 2019
Yeah.
process.
That was the 2019 process. I was still figuring it out, you know. I mean, it's been a lot of experimentation, trial and error. I mean, I feel like my process is a lot more streamlined now, but for 2019 that sounds about right what I was on.
Nice. What is what's changed since then? What improvements have you made?
Still using the same programming
You know,
program?
yeah, I'm still using Sonar X3, defunct DAW.
Interesting.
I'm just gonna
This
say,
what you know the best?
well, it's not that it's the best; it's that's the one I got, you know. And
Yeah.
I can't really like put a bunch of money into like getting something really nice and classy, and also like I don't want to relearn a DAW. Like getting fluent with a DAW is already like so hard and so much work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so my process now, it's basically the same, it's just a lot more streamlined. It's like I'll write the lyrics usually to a beat that I find, and then I'll make my own beat to the lyrics, because I feel like anytime I make a beat and then try to write lyrics to that beat, or I, you know, maybe, yeah, it's like it just doesn't work for me for some reason. It's like I feel like the lyrics have to come first, because that's what the feeling of the song is the lyrics. Whereas when I make the beat first and then write lyrics to it, I don't know what to say, and it just never pans out.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I talked to people. We talked to multiple people, obviously, on the show, and the spectrum is really there.
It's
of, like,
different for everyone, really.
Exactly. Some people love the just to like get inspired by the vibe of a beat, versus it sounds like the lyrics are a little more first in your process.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then, yeah. And being a musician, you can play guitar and stuff like that, and you make the beats, obviously. So it's like, it's understandable that you want the instruments to have more personality than just the background of your.
Right, exactly. That what you're saying is 100% it. Like, I don't want the beat to just be like a backdrop to the lyrics. I want it to really express the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Emphasize
mean?
them.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll write to a beat, and then I'll make my own beat for those lyrics, and then I'll like start changing things up so that the two coalesce, and then recording a lot of demos. I demo things out in advance always, and then with my upcoming projects, I have two upcoming projects. I've got one called Gabriel and the other called Goth Caillou, and Gabriel, I've been working on for like 2 years, and then Goth Caillou, like we just started mixing it. We just recorded we just finished recording everything.
You still working with Kill Solace?
No,
Or
no.
who are you working with now?
No,
If you can reveal that information.
yeah, so I was working with Kill Solace for Chasm. Chasm is gone, by the way. Like, that is in the vault. That is a
off the
lost
charts?
project. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no one's listening to Chasm anymore.
Oh my goodness.
We can get more into that later. There's so much to talk about.
Precisely, yeah.
Yeah, but then with the next project, Erin, which is also gone. Like, I don't want anyone listening to that.
Not remastering that one.
No, I'm not remastering that. I mean, maybe someday, but I don't know. But that one I made entirely on my own, and then Gabriel I also made entirely on my own.
Wow.
But the one that I'm working on right now, Goth Caillou, I'm working with this dude named Angel, who works with Kaleidoscope Sound, and yeah, it's going really well. I mean, I love
That's good to
collabing
hear.
with this dude.
How'd
Yeah.
you get lined up with him, or how'd you meet him?
I met him through an artist named Jess Hano, aka Darnell. We've been friends for a minute, and his producer wanted to meet me, so we met and we clicked. And I mean, it's been like the best music collab I've had thus far. I mean, this dude, we're really in like a similar headspace, and I've never experienced that. I've always been very much lone wolf in it, so it's like takes off a lot of the stress and the pressure of working on Goth Caillou, because working on Gabriel was honestly like hell. It was a horrible experience. I mean, the music turned out, but it was really a total slag.
Yeah. Just really, it's a lot to do when you're doing it all yourself, and then it's just like we were talking about in the car, just like
Before the show.
before the show.
Just to clarify.
Oh yeah, we were talking about before the show.
We
That's
gotta take a
right.
break in about 10 seconds.
Oh, I'll tell you about later.
Make sure you follow Erin at Erin Avis Music. Make sure you follow SunDogs at SunDogs TC. We're gonna be right back in about 2 minutes. SunDogs present Local Vibes. Welcome back to your favorite show, SunDogs present Local Vibes.
What's up?
We are cramped in the doghouse yet again with Erin Avis. And before we had to take a break, we were talking about how pleasant it is to have a positive collaborative experience as compared to lone wolf in it, which I'm sure, you know, at least some of that comes from maybe bad collaborative experiences.
Yeah, I mean, partially. Also, just like, you know, I'm a control freak, man. Like, I want 100% control over my music and my art. You know, I have a very specific idea of what I want, and I just don't really trust other people to help me with that. And in the past, you know, it's like other people just like either didn't really care about what I was trying to do or didn't like get what I was going for, so it just didn't work out. And so I decided, all right, well, I'm just going to do everything myself. I'm going to make the beats and do the production and do all the performances and do the mastering, and I've learned how to do all that. So now I am self-sufficient, but it's just not conducive to like really positive working experiences to work alone. I feel like the music and the vibe, everything is just, it's just better when you have somebody to like bounce things off of, someone that like gets what you're going for, you trust their judgment, you know, because it takes so much of the pressure off. It takes like, I mean, even though Angel doesn't do half the work, because I'm still making all the beats and doing all the performances and doing all the mastering and doing
Promotion.
all the promotion, like a good amount of the production collaboratively with him. Even though he's not doing half the work, he's taking off like half the weight just by his being there.
And
you know
maybe
what I mean?
doubling the pace at which you can get stuff done.
Definitely. Yeah, because I mean, Gabriel took like 2 years for me to finish. And I mean, Goth Caillou, we've been working on it for. I started writing it, or I wrapped up writing it roughly in like April
2021?
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean it's been less than a year, and like we're a few months from having it done.
That's awesome.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely cool when you can, keep the pace going. Because like I was alluding to before the break, just the timing. If it takes so long to get something out, the lyrics might not even mean the same thing to you.
Yeah, I mean 100%. I mean, I do like that lyrics are they're like a time capsule in a way. You know, it really reveals where you were at the time in your headspace. But it's always music is always retrospective. There's no way around it.
Right.
Because it's like, as soon as you write lyrics, you know, you wake up the next day and those lyrics are a day away from you, and every day they're just further and further away. But, you know, I still, you know, I did a set in October, and it was the first set I had done since the Erin release show, which we'll get into because it was a fiasco.
Yeah, where was this show in October?
Show in October was at Underground Music Cafe.
Okay.
And yeah, first time performing in a while, and first time performing any material that came out after Erin, which is, like, for anyone that isn't caught up to speed, I released this album, Erin, and then I started releasing all these singles. But if you go on my Spotify, all you're going to see is the singles, because I took everything that I've done before it off. Even though I've been making music since 2015 and releasing stuff since 2015, I decided I wanted a fresh start.
Yeah.
And changed my artist name, changed my first name personally.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was just like a reset. So since 2019, it's been a reset. But I played those reset songs for the first time live, and, you know, like, I was getting choked up, dude. It was like, even though there's so much distance from me and these lyrics and these songs, still, like, it's painful to, like, get up there and, like, say these, like, deeply personal things in front of people, you know,
Especially for the first time.
yeah.
If not since the first time out loud since you recorded the vocals, if you've even recorded vocals. Were these tracks that you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Had
also,
done.
you know, I was, like, alone in my room doing this. It's like,
Exactly.
I didn't even have, like, an engineer listening to it. Like, it was totally personal, you know. I mean, that's how it should be in my mind, like, very personal. But I feel like once you get a small team of collaborators that you're really comfortable with, then it can remain personal while still being, like, you know, getting ideas and bouncing things off and spitballing, you know. You know what I mean.
Yeah, so before we get into the fiasco, I got
Yes.
one more question. It's kind of related to this. We might as well squeeze it in.
Okay.
So if you could go back in time and talk to yourself before you learned how to mix and master and put all the time into learning all that stuff, which now you have a partner to help you with, would you tell yourself to spend the time learning all that still, or would you say if you find the right person, you're not going to have to spend all the time learning this? And
I would still say learn it all yourself. I mean, one thing, like, even if you don't plan on doing it all yourself, just so that you understand the function and the purpose, and so that, because, like, if you really want your vision to come to life, and if you have a really specific vision like I do, I mean, the music I make is, like, pretty out there. It's pretty different. It's pretty specific to, like, it's just like, if you want to achieve all that, even if you're not doing it, you should know what goes into it.
you're going to have to know how to speak the language.
Exactly. And I mean, I think the only thing that I would change or say to myself to do differently would be to ask for help and to find people that are more experienced, and to be open to that, and to be open to criticism, because it took me so long to be open to any outside opinions even of my work, you know, because it's like...
But that's a trust thing too. You got to trust that the person giving the input cares as much as you do about that final product.
Exactly, yeah. And also, you have to learn how to sort out good and bad criticism, because not... You know, that might sound like a cop-out to just choose the criticism you like, but it's really not. It's about learning what criticism really is valid or makes sense to you, you know? Because like when somebody comes up to me after a show and they're like, dude, your music's so cool, it sounds just like, it reminds me of like Linkin Park. I'm like, okay, well, like that's not the most informed piece of criticism, you know? Like I don't know if I can entirely trust this sort of like just like gut reaction sort of.
I got to come up with something to say to this guy who was just on stage in the center of everybody's attention.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that sort of thing isn't like criticism you should really lose sleep over or like dwell on too much. But if somebody gives you like a really thought out piece of criticism that you can tell that they're investing their thought and their care into, then listen to it. Even if they say your song sucks, well, if they're really like investing time into it, they probably won't say it sucks. They probably have an elaborate way of saying it sucks. But, you know, you should maybe like pay attention a little bit, you know? Because I mean, I've been just like trying to fight this all out alone and like walking through the dark with it. And it hasn't helped me as an artist. It hasn't helped me grow to isolate myself at all, you know? It's been very character building, and that's good. But I wish I had gotten to the point where I'm at right now, this sort of clarity of vision that I have and this openness to criticism and this willingness to collaborate. I wish I had been there like 2-3 years ago, you know, but here I am.
Hey, learning more every day. So, jumping back about a year ago.
Are we getting into it?
We're getting into it.
The
so we
fiasco?
don't need to be specific about stuff you don't want to be specific about.
Right, yeah.
To be professional.
Okay.
But the Erin release show.
Right, well, I'm not going to say what venue this was at first.
Thank
though.
you.
It was a bar in Minneapolis. And, I mean, first off, things were kind of cursed from the go because I asked if I could have a release show. And they basically said to me, like, well, yeah, we'll figure something out and get back to you. And then they got back to me and they said, well, you know, this other band is throwing a show. We could just put you on their bill and it could become your release show. And I'm like, okay, sure, why not? Is that cool with the other band? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. And so I reached out to this other band because it seemed really weird to me that they would just throw me on this other band's bill.
Yeah.
So, but they were cool with it, and they were really nice people. I will say the name of the band. It was Reverend McGee, and they played a great set, and they were really cool people. But there was just a lot of weird mixed signals and communication.
With like management of the venue and stuff.
Yeah, and really it like wasn't really my show. It was really more so Reverend McGee's show that I was kind of just like tacked onto, but then it was like being advertised as my show.
Right.
But anyway, so we, you know, the show started out fine. It was going okay. I mean, the bill was a little weird because, you know, we had me and X and Discover, you know, sort of alternative hip-hop artists that were kind of tacked onto this bill with these two sort of alternative rock indie bands, which, you know, I like the idea of it, but some people were a little put off by it. And you could tell, and this really bothered me, like you could tell, like there would be like a rock band, and the regulars or the people that were there because they wanted to drink or whatever, they were into them, but then a rapper would go on and they would just go outside and smoke. But then the people that were there for the rap music, they would watch everybody. They were more open to watching all the acts and to supporting all the people than the regulars of the bar was. So the people that we brought were really cool, and the people that were regulars at the bar were not cool. And also the bartender was being just
a jabroni.
He was not being chill. That's all I can say. Without using any curse words on the air, he was not being chill. And then, you know, a little later on in the night, Reverend McGee is on, and I'm about to go on next because I'm the closer.
Right.
And my set is an hour because I played the whole album front to back, or at least I was going to.
Cool.
Yeah, so
Performing the whole album
Yes.
front to back.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my gosh.
with all the interludes and skits as well.
Cool.
So, but so Reverend McGee is on, and there's this dude there who he's just hanging out and having a good time, but he doesn't have any shoes on. And I guess retrospectively, some people have told me that this guy is kind of known around Minneapolis because he's either homeless or houseless. I don't really know his situation, but he's kind of known for not wearing shoes and showing up to places. Yeah, I mean, not necessarily crashing because anyone's allowed.
But just
there.
being the only person not wearing shoes.
Yeah. And he was fine. He wasn't hurting anybody. He just wasn't wearing shoes. But the bartender was like, "You got to get out if you're not wearing shoes." I mean, really, I think it was just a thing of like, there's someone here who's homeless or houseless, and they want to get him out because they treat him like he's a problem. Exactly. And like, so the bartender was trying to kick this dude out, and he didn't want to leave, so he called the cops.
Dude did, or the bartender?
The bartender.
Oh,
The bartender
it's like
called
this
the cops, and like there were like maybe 3 cars and like 10 cops for this one dude who just wasn't wearing shoes, right?
That's ridiculous.
And they came in, and I was in the bathroom, and I came out of the bathroom, and I watched them tackle this dude.
In the venue.
In the venue, right in the middle of the floor for the venue, while the band is playing. And then they're yelling about like stop resisting and this and that, all this crap, and they tased bro. And then like,
oh my gosh.
And so the band like stops playing. People are yelling stop, and like, I mean, what ensued was an extremely intense and personal experience. I don't know how much to really say about it, but like, I mean, this was before this was before COVID, this was before George Floyd, this was before the really big international blowing up of BLM, not that BLM like just came out or anything, but the really international highlighting of it. And I mean, like, if you're from Minneapolis and you know a little bit about what's going on, you know that it's a really dangerous situation and that something really horrible could have happened in that moment. Right. Luckily, it didn't. But, I mean, we were all just sort of watching this go down, just hoping that these cops, like, keep their gun in their holster, basically. Right. I mean, eventually what ended up panning out was that this dude with no shoes on, he was conscious, he was responsive, and he ended up getting taken out on a stretcher. And I don't know what happened to that dude after that. I mean, some friends have told me that they've seen him around and that he's okay. But yeah, after... Yeah, and then after that, I went on stage and was like, so sorry about that. If you need to leave, you can, but here's my stupid album now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the vibe, I'm sure, tainted.
Dude,
in the most
there was
possible
no
sense.
vibe anymore.
Yeah, it didn't exist.
It didn't exist. Yeah, and then just to like icing on the horrible sort of fiasco cake that this all was, so this whole thing, lasted about half an hour to 45 minutes, and then I went on to play my whole album, and then the bartender turned off the sound during the last song and kicked us all out. So, yeah.
Classy.
Yeah, very classy.
Oh my goodness.
So I really wish I could put this venue on blast right now.
I mean...
Don't need to burn any bridges. You can just talk about them behind their back.
Okay, it was the Terminal Bar. Because I don't want to play there ever again.
No, I completely
And I don't want anyone
understand.
going there. Don't go to the Terminal Bar, okay? Please, I beg you.
We're sitting down with Erin Avis. We appreciate you, not reliving, but reflecting upon
Yes.
that
Yeah.
feces sandwich.
It was, yeah. It's a feces sandwich.
We're going to take a break here. Our break in about 30 seconds.
Oh, that's right.
Be sure to follow Erin Avis at Erin Avis Music, ERINAVISMUSIC, and SunDogs at SunDogs TC. Give us a ring, 651-313-5125. Again, 651-313-5125. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the 2 tracks that your rep sent over, a part of the upcoming project.
Yes.
Stick with us. We will be right back on SunDogs Present Local Vibes. We're back.
We're back.
Here with Erin Avis on SunDogs Present Local Vibes. Hopefully not. Well, you said you did do live performance in October, so
Yeah.
did that wash the bad taste out of your mouth from the terminal?
It did. It
Nice.
definitely did.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely reluctant to be doing any gigs after that, but it was a nice welcome back. And I hope to be doing more gigs in the future. I don't have anything lined up. But
Yeah, maybe an open mic, or what are you were talking before the show about mobile voice modulation.
I was just going to ask
Yes.
about the same thing.
Tell us a little bit about
that. Yeah, what's going on here? So we're talking, we got
Which
your
direction?
microphone, cord coming out the microphone. You plug this thing in?
yeah, you plug it into like a vocal effects box, and then it goes out to the main sound, and it sounds great. I mean, as we were talking about in the car, a lot of these smaller venues and bars don't really put a lot of effort into your sound sometimes, and it's kind of all on you, and you got these dry vocals, and it's like a touch of reverb, a little delay maybe, like something. But I just decided I had to take care of that issue myself. So
Is that is it like a guitar pedal?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, it's basically the same principle. It's basically a guitar pedal for your vocals, and it's got all these presets.
Like
you know.
Joe Conway's of Big Into.
Does it
Little
need
purple.
phantom power or batteries? Or
It doesn't need phantom power, but it does require an AC adapter.
plugged into the wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just like, if you got a regular old guitar pedal, and same principle, same adapter even.
And you put it on the floor versus having it on like a Batman belt.
Yeah, you'd have it on the floor.
Gotcha.
Or on a table or something so you can switch it. And then it's got these 2 big switches, like a foot pedal, so you can just switch between your presets.
That's so cool.
Exactly, yeah. And then I'll have my set list and then I'll have the preset written next to it, or whatever the settings are. So yeah, it's great.
If you've never seen Erin Avis perform live, it's a spectacle.
It's
and
a
I can only
spectacle.
imagine, the continued momentum and the added showmanship that there's going to be, the stage presence, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, it's always been a spectacle. When you guys saw me last, it was a spectacle, and
Oh yeah, I think I was at your album release party. I don't think I saw any of the
no, you
craziness.
left before the craziness happened. Yeah. And then there was some people there was also going to be an after party, but that ended up not happening because I was like, yo, we all just need to
Take
chill.
a rest. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, start the day tomorrow. Like this day is ruined.
exactly. Yeah.
So obviously with learning more, you touched earlier in the show about asking for help, how much the character that built with finding good collaborators. How did your work, because you already had a very streamlined work ethic, I'll say, or an album process, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
How did that change because of COVID? I mean, were you in the studio twice as much?
Well, I mean, my studio was always my bedroom prior to me working with Angel. Now we record everything at Kaleidoscope Recordings.
Oh.
in,
What city is that in?
it's in Minneapolis, yeah. Yeah. And it's a really nice setup. I like it a lot, and it feels so much better to work in there than to be in your room with the curtains drawn and
Your bed 3 feet away. It's
Yeah.
like, I could just take a depressed nap. No
exactly.
problem.
And then I mean, my process during COVID was extremely depressing, honestly. Like, it wasn't fun or cool. I mean, it's coming out of COVID where the process became really good, but during COVID was very much a learning process of a trial by fire in a way. I mean, a lot of it was just consuming currently questionably legal substances within my bedroom, and being really depressed and
being
just
your biggest critic, locked in
exactly,
a room, locked in a
exactly.
room with yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
the only input being yourself
exactly. Yeah,
for too long.
Yeah, I mean, I think about stories of like Trent Reznor recording the Downward Spiral in the house where Sharon Tate got murdered, and I think to myself like, yeah, that was me in a metaphorical
That's
sense.
the vibe.
Yeah, that was the vibe.
Oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah, I don't know. I find even metaphorically opening a window and letting a breeze in helps
Something, a little
kind of
something.
reset. I don't like to burn stuff in my apartment. So
Yeah.
I'm not a big sage burner.
Right.
So cleansing the space is difficult. I just can
Yeah.
relate to the weight of being locked in a room with yourself making art.
Yes. Yeah, and it can be a heavy weight to carry sometimes.
Definitely.
It can be, I mean, during COVID, it was a crushingly heavy weight. It was so bad.
Yeah. That even, because you normally have a pretty good process, like we've been talking about,
Right.
how you're always writing something, even if it's for a project that's like 3 projects away.
Right.
And even with that solid process of being, to keep the weight of working on your own stuff off of you, the
Right.
COVID just
Yeah.
was even more heavy.
Yeah, for sure. And also, like, I mean, Gabriel is the longest I've ever spent on a project. Every other project I've spent, maybe 6 months to 8 months on. At the longest, Gabriel I spent 2 or more years on. I'm honestly not sure how long it's been, but at least 2 years on that project front to back. So, and I finally finished it, like done. I'm not touching this anymore. Only like maybe a month or two ago, like a month ago actually.
Nice.
So-
And now it's all playing in the rollout.
Yes.
What,
plan on the rollout.
What details can you give us about that?
Or what, in your opinion, makes a good rollout? Or what are you going to try to emulate with your rollout?
I would say, I mean, I'm not a master of the rollout. I haven't had a lot of great rollouts, but I'm learning and I'm collabing with some people. I'm collabing with a lot of people, actually, some cool photographers and some cool business-minded people, because my head is really not in the rollout business. It's not something that comes naturally to me, and I can't say too much about it, but I will say that I'm going to be dropping every track of the album in sequence, one after the other, until the actual day of, like, this is it, the done album. And there's going to be some mystery-driven content surrounding that. I mean, I feel like, from what little I know about the rollout, I would say that a good rollout is about intrigue and mystery and sort of, like, pulling people in so that they want to know more, Yeah. It's about not giving everything away right away.
Yeah, teasing. if you will.
Teasing, yeah.
In regards to that, we have about 3 minutes before we get to play these songs.
Yeah, the first 2 singles.
16 is released.
16 is released, yeah.
And we're going to play them in sequence.
Yeah.
16 and then 17.
Yep.
Tell us, again, what you can, in a introductory way about these 2 tracks, or the vibe of Gabriel
Okay.
that we're about to be introduced to.
Right, well, I'll tell you this. I mean, Gabriel is a concept album about, 6 horrible years of my life, just filled with abusive love and toxicity and some abuse and toxicity surrounding religion. And basically I was in this really abusive relationship, and sort of the terms and conditions of that relationship were me being Christian. And so I tried my best to be that person, and I lost myself entirely in the process, to the point where I had a total personality crisis, and I I had to leave the relationship because it was like my life on the line, you know, and the album is really just sort of detailing those 6 years front to back, you know, just in order, you know, and 16 is the first track off the album, and it's really just going into like where I was as a person prior to meeting this other person, and like kind of the mind space you're in when you choose to seek out an abusive relationship or any sort of abusive relationship, including an abusive relationship with a religion, because I really had nothing. I felt totally lost, and I was at the end of my rope, and I needed somebody to tell me what to do and who to be, you know, and then this person came along who wanted to do exactly that, and I was like, yeah, sure, you know, take everything, take my trauma, take my pain, and because I didn't know how to deal with that at the time. I didn't know how to live with myself, you know, and the album sort of details gradually learning through that hard 6 years, like what it means to actually sort of face yourself and to learn how to get by on your own and be an independent person, you know.
What a fascinating thing to explore, and I'm sure every time you listen to it again, past, you know, a month ago, where you're not going to touch it anymore,
Right.
I'm sure you're adding even more, you know, interpretations to it, as literal as it may seem at times, to you, the writer, and the person who experienced it.
Right.
We've got about 10 seconds until these tracks
All
start.
right.
We'd really like to thank you again for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
This is going to be 16 and then 17. A world premiere in my mind.
World premiere, yeah.
Here on SunDogs Present Local Vibes off the new project, Gabriel.
Make me someone else. I run out of breath. I spend nights alone, wrapped up in my head. 16 years is a long, long time to run. These cells make my throat close up. I step in, my guard goes up. I dress up like yourself, but I'm so scared I might throw up. I'm like, up, me closed off, awkward, lonely. I wish you'd approach me. I want someone to hold me. Frustrated, I'm isolated. How does the team get so fucking jaded? I'm out with no inspiration. I play guitar, but I kinda hate it. Why do we go unheard? Seen but lost for words. When they call trauma moody, and I can't process hurt. Make me someone else. I run out of breath. I spend nights alone, wrapped up in my head. 16 years is a long, long time to run. You hit me up, I picked it up like quick as I acted Cas. I texted back, thought what the could you want with my ugly ass? We talked all night, and I had a friend. I sat in darkness by my screen light, wishing it would never end. You asked if I was touched, you asked to see my scars, so I filled up your poem with my broken heart, and I spilled it all like it was fake. I gave that burden all away. I was so sick of holding on, so I just made it yours to take. Can you make me someone half wide, creeping in the side of my eye. Some things closing in, some things closing in. Paralyzed lids half wide, mattress wrapped inside. Some things closing in, some things closing in. Loneliness is an easy sentence when out of vision and full of evidence. I've collected this baggage, saying I deserve the severance. My guilt holds the cord, it pulls the cord, it helps me hold the fort. I wish I hadn't left the ward, back to this blank black drawing board. You're a fly around my head, you're a phantom in my bed. I'm ashamed of everyone I met and reached their hearts instead. I'm a parasite, I'm full of lies, they let me cry at night. My shame is a super strength that makes these feelings only mine. Terrified, lids half wide, creeping in the side of my eye. Some things closing in, some things closing in. Paralyzed, lids half wide, mattress wrapped inside. Some things closing in, some things closing in. Moving on means letting go. My grip since a decade froze. I got trauma in my bones, crushing knuckles, keep it close. Keep a hold on the past while I grow. So I'm looking pretty different, but I'm feeling just as old. It's a new year, new friends too. Mask off crew, finally I fit into something that's not you. Then the summer's at its end, and I'm lonely once again. And I'm making for the past, and I'm losing my defense. Then I'm buzzing from my phone that took awake inside my chest. When I open up a text saying, can we just be friends?